Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Tanda's Charm. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Tanda's Charm and I am an independent recording artist and content creator. And in today's video, I am going to be talking about a very controversial and viral video that went viral on TikTok where a black mother, she's a single mom, she ended up acting a fool at Little Caesars because she was 60 cents short. And the Little Caesars worker refused to give her order because she was 60 cents short. That's almost a dollar. Like, it's almost a dollar, and it had a lot of people split between like having sympathy for her versus not having any empathy for her. And I have my own opinions, but in today's video I'm going to be discussing and sharing my opinions about this situation and also reviewing the video with y'all too. So if y'all interested in that, make sure that you sit down, grab your tea, and let's get into this video. And I guess I'll be putting the video here. Also, by the way, y'all, I am a little bit under the weather. Actually, a lot under the weather. But the show must go on when it comes to YouTube. And, I want to really show up for myself and show that I have that dog in me. So I am, showing up anyways, no matter whether I'm a little under the weather or not. So yeah, if you want to donate to me on Cash App or PayPal, check the YouTube description box below. I have my Cash App handled down there. I don't think I have my PayPal there. And also, if you're into buying like household, gadgets and makeup and clothing, then make sure that you shop at Temu and use this coupon code here and type it into the search engine box in the Temu app, and type the coupon code in Temu so that you can activate the 30% off discount when you go shopping on Temu. And I love their makeup, but child, like I said, I was sick today. I don't even feel like washing my face, period. So like, yeah, I am not about to put makeup on and like, do the whole face thing and have to wash it off. But I do love my Temu makeup and my new things I got from Temu. So y'all check it out and subscribe to my newsletter because I make amazing exclusive content there on Substack. So basically this woman was acting a fool at Little Caesars, and I think it's unacceptable. But let's get into, reacting to the videos first so I can gather my thoughts fully. And I'm going to try to be quiet too while I'm doing it. So, yeah. And then she's trying to blame it on the worker, saying that you about to go viral. Oh my god. But let's get into video 2 because there's another video. Playing video 2 now.
Okay, as an ex-retail worker, I'm just commenting on that like 60-cent video from like Little Caesars, and I'm gonna be fully transparent here. I take the side of the cashier on this one. Like, I'm sorry, I feel for that woman who was short 60 cents. I really do, because like I've seen that happen in real life, and I'm thankful to have never been in a position where that's something that I've had to go through, and it sucks. And like, probably if I were in that position of that cashier, I probably would have just paid that 60 cents myself, because I'm in a position where I could have done that. But at the same time, like, I'm taking the cashier's side on this because like ultimately it is not her responsibility. She has a job. She has a job that she has to pay bills with, and if she gets fired over that 60-cent shortage that she let slide, or if it's against company policy to give a customer 60 cents for whatever reason, like, who's paying her bills? You know, jobs are tough these days. Like, y'all can't just be flippant about jobs anymore. And like, unfortunately, if you're a customer, you do have to respect whatever policies and rules the establishment has set up. I had a friend not that long ago complaining about how he couldn't take his baby into an establishment that wasn't necessarily like a bar, but it was just like a 21 and up restaurant. We have those here in Seattle. And if it's 21 up, like, you can't be a baby in the bar. And he was getting all upset, like, it's a baby, it's not like it's gonna drink. And it's like, okay, sure. But like, what if the liquor board had come that day? That server loses their job. Are you paying their bills? Like, there's always consequences to breaking company policy, unfortunately, even if the policy is stupid. And right now, with job security the way that it
This
is,
guy is so right.
listen, I don't blame nobody for following the rules of whatever policies the company that they work for have.
That guy was so right.
The Little Caesars video of the lady going off on the cashier because she didn't have 60 cents to help her. Let's talk about it. Let me just say, as a cashier, I get asked for change to cover this, to cover that, at least 15 times a day. Every single day that I work. The people that I would say 8 out of 10 people that I bought something for that was supposed to bring the money back another time never came back. The people that I helped cover a little bit of change one time, it turned into a everyday thing where they asked me every day to now the point I don't help nobody with shit. I'm sorry, like, y'all don't understand, this is not our stuff to give. We just work here. I don't make the prices. I just scan the shit. If something is $5, that's what has to go on my register. Anything else, I have to put in there. I have to cover it. I'm already broke. I don't have the money to help people because y'all come to an establishment and y'all know what shit costs and y'all don't bring it up. That's not on me. And especially working here, y'all want me to help y'all on blunts and shit. Food is one thing, but blunts? Absolutely not.
Y'all trying to recreate when y'all don't even have the money. Trying to buy blunts and y'all don't even have the money, the funds for blunts. That's funny. That tickles me. This is supposed to be her, and people found like her videos on her story where she's doing her hair, and it's like, why are you doing your hair with with the money that you could have used to buy food with?
Everything you love to you can't bring my favorite quote. It doesn't matter how can you beat someone. You can't hit nobody anyway, motherfucker.
And she have since deleted all her videos where her hair was done and her braids was done and all of that on her page on TikTok. It's like, where's her baby daddy? Where's her baby daddy to take care of of her child? Okay, so those are all of the videos, and it's like I was saying, like, where is your baby daddy to take care of all the children? Like, to take care of you and your child and y'all needs. You know what I mean? Okay, so those were some really, really interesting videos. And when I was watching those videos, like, when it comes to single moms in general, I do have some empathy for y'all because it's like, you know, it is like, I can only imagine how difficult it is. I'm child free. I'm 25 and I have 0 children. But I can only imagine how, you know, scary and difficult it is for y'all to take care of y'all children. But at the same time, it's like, it's so crazy seeing the audacity, like she was demanding the Little Caesars worker to well, she was trying to shame her, that like, hey, if you don't like take care and cover my 60 cents, then you're a bad person, you're a bad this, you're a bad that. And in a perfect world where everything's peachy keen, like maybe the worker could have handled and covered the 60 cents. And there was a person that I was watching the video, which, you know, we were both watching it at the same time. The video was kind of low, but he was saying how if he was working at Little Caesars, that he would be covering the 60 cents for her. But it's at some jobs, you can't just like take out some money and cover some money. Like I remember at one of my jobs that I was working at, they would like review the money and count the money and count how much is coming up. Like, because if you were a little bit short, you would get questioned, and it's a bad look on you, especially as a black minimum wage worker. You would be questioned. You would get looked at crazy, you know, if you were a couple dollars short. And it's even worse now, because at so many minimum wage jobs right now, they are trying to rage bait their black employees. Like, employees are trying to rage bait, you know, their black employees, and they're trying to find that one little mistake that you do, that one little something that you do that's against store policy, so that they can have a reason to say, you're fired, we're going to lay you off. It is really bad, and for many people that I know, that I've been talking to in real life, it has been like that. And it's like, you know, you cannot expect, like, you can't just be having your hand out, you know, looking for handouts like that. And then she's on her story talking about how, you know, God's going to take care of her each and every time. Well, if you really believed in that, why were you acting like a monkey fool at Little Caesars, you know, for pizza that your child's not going to eat? You know, if, like, I don't know if the child's in a stroller or not, you know, I don't know the age of her child, but if her child's, like, if she says she had a baby, okay, if that's a baby, no baby can't eat no pizza. That pizza was for you. And you could have used some of that money, you know, to buy some rice and some mixed vegetables and call it a day, and get a couple of sauce packets and stir fry some stuff with some soy sauce and duck sauce somewhere. Everyone has to make do in these hard times. Everyone. And you know, I really didn't like how, you know, entitled she was. Like, she felt, because I'm a single mom and I'm struggling with a child, you're gonna let me and my child starve? Am I your father? Am I the baby daddy? The Little Caesars employee is not your baby daddy. The Little Caesars employee is not your baby daddy. The Little Caesars employee is not the one that got you pregnant. You know, so all of that guilt tripping, I would feel nothing, because it's like, you know, you're not about to guilt trip me out of something that you brought about yourself, you know. And when I think about, like, a lot of stuff, like women that's getting pregnant in this economy is crazy. It's like, I couldn't imagine it. Because things are already so hard financially as it is. I couldn't imagine bringing another life in this world, you know, especially if you don't have no side hustle, no job, no nothing. And who brought her to Little Caesars? If she had a car, you can do DoorDash. If you have a car, you can do DoorDash or Uber Eats or Instacart grocery shopping for people. Like, there is some gig economy things that you can do if you have a car. You know, hell, some people use a bicycle. You know, some people do that if you're that good around your way and stuff like that. But, like, how are you going to shame the Little Caesars worker for doing their job? Like, if you get a little bit short, you're going to get questioned, especially nowadays. And she's saying that, like, you know, you're on camera, you're going to go viral. No, you're going to go viral because you acting like a monkey fool at Little Caesars because you didn't have 60 cents. Now, do I have some sympathy for her, yes. But if you already knew that you wasn't going to have that much money, like I always make sure that I have the calculator with me when I'm going grocery shopping on feet, at my local grocery store. And if I know that I'm not going to have that much, you put some things back from the grocery cart and stuff like that. And my last grocery shopping trip, I was going grocery shopping. I just wanted to buy a couple of things, and I had to put back my dark chocolate bar, which was sad because I was like, oh, like I want my dark chocolate, but I wasn't going to start jumping up and down like, oh, you doing this? I'm an American. I'm an American. Like, you doing this? Like, I would not start making up and bringing up a bunch of things, and then like talking crap at the cashier when the cashier is in the same situation, if not maybe a little bit worse than me. But thank God that day, like randomly a guy, he was like, hey, I'll cover it. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. Like I thought I thanked them like 3 times. I was like, oh my God, thank you. Because I didn't have it that day, but I was willing to put some stuff back and put some oranges back and whatnot. But I was never entitled. Why I bring that up is because, like, I've never said that I was entitled for somebody to cover my grocery bill. Like, that was a random act of kindness. And it doesn't matter how small the random act of kindness is. Like, sometimes you might just get a random act of kindness and sometimes you won't. And you can't be expecting that. Like, I just want to say, as black women, don't like get pregnant and like start visualizing the best case scenario that you're going to always get a bunch of random acts of kindness, because that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And keep your legs closed. Stop dealing with men that's not going to come into your life and stay in your life to help you. It's very dumb. We need to cut that out. We have YouTube. We have many story times on YouTube where people and women who got pregnant and, got in a situation that was bad with their boyfriends. Like, they share their stories all the time on YouTube. And we have that to our defense, so that we can get educated mentally, so that we don't make mistakes like this, so that you're in a situation where you're at your wit's end, where you're like, okay, like, you feel like you want to act a monkey fool because you don't have the rest of the money that you need in order to buy some takeout, for a break. Don't get yourself in a situation like that. And I realize that a lot of like black people and a lot of black church, like, y'all don't take accountability for nothing. There's nothing like that going on. But my mom have always taught me that whatever that you do, whether you're planting good seeds, bad seeds, and especially with men, it just depends on how you date, how you go about life, is that you reap what you sow. In other words, you will lay in the bed that you make. And you can't be entitled for people to, reach out and, help you, because it's not going to happen all the time like that. It's crazy to think and visualize life like that when it's not like that at all. And thank God that I was taught that at a very young age, and that's why I've always been very, very careful, very, very cautious, especially around men, because the way men can sniff you out, to try, and basically like try to hunch you, try to talk to you when you know that their intentions are not good. And it's just like, if I could just be honest, like some dusty mofos, like some dusty ass looking Negroes, like it'd be like that. And I already know this, so I'm very, very shrewd. I try to be very shrewd and discerning, no matter how I feel, no matter how much I want a boyfriend or whatever, because it's not worth getting myself in a situation that I'm not interested in at all. at all. And we need to have more conversations like this with young black women, and younger black girls, younger than me, and all of that. Because nobody, like, we already understand that nobody's coming to save you in a lot of cases, but when it comes to dating, like, you need to actually start doing the math and think to yourself, like, okay, so if I date this guy, how he's acting, how he's treating me now, like, when you calculate a baby and calculate having unprotected sex, you need to calculate, like, things not working out as good as planned, like, in your in the situation that you're putting yourself into. And you have to ask yourself, if things don't go that great, what am I going to do? If he leave me out, what am I going to do? And we need to start thinking more like that, so that you don't end up in situations like this. But for this single mom, she had money to get her hair done. Kanklon hair, like hair that you use to braid your hair, be costing sometimes $8 a pack, sometimes $3 a pack. You could have easily used that money to buy some soy sauce, rice, a pack of chicken or a pack of eggs, and you could have, like, done some surveys too, so that you can, like, make some fried rice and get full off that, because ain't nobody save you, especially if you're a single mom. Ain't nobody coming to save you. Ain't nobody coming to save regular black women. So, it's important to calculate that in your life. Like, stop making dumb moves, black women, and acting like a fool. And I was just thinking to myself that if I were to see somebody acting like a fool in a grocery store like this, which I had before, I'll be like, can somebody escort this lady out this store, disturbing the peace? Like, that's crazy. Sometimes acting like a monkey fool works at different places, but it's like, in this economy, everybody is so close to possibly getting homeless. There's so many people, purchasing groceries with fear in their eyes. Like, when I go to the grocery store, like, there's so many people, like, putting this can back to get this can. Everybody's going through it right now. White folks, black folks, everybody in between. Everybody in between. And it's not right to act like that, because you're a single mom and because of what you brought upon your own self, like, you're just entitled to get help, and you're entitled to, for help and stuff like that. Not everybody can help you. And you have to tap into your resourcefulness and her attitude. And I was thinking about, like, your attitude regarding your life is huge, because with a nasty attitude will not help you attract miracles like you need. Like, when the groceries was randomly covered by some random guy, I never begged, but, like, I always try to be grateful and have a positive attitude. And if y'all don't believe in the law of attraction, y'all will not get this part of this video at all. But, like, when you have a positive mindset and positive thoughts, you end up attracting that into your life too. And, like, positive, things happening in your life and stuff like that. It's not a guarantee. But, like, sometimes positive things happen when you have a positive attitude and people notice it around you. But other than that, you have to be very resourceful, and you have to just, rock it that way, but I don't like the nasty attitude and the acting like a buffoon, at Little Caesars, when this is what you brought yourself into, when you were dealing with some man, Pookie and Ray Ray, that got you pregnant. That's on you. That's on you. That's on you. And then spending extra money on getting your hair done. Kanklon hair for synthetic braids. When you're doing your hair, be $8 a pack, $4 or $3 a pack. You could have used that money on just a jar of Blue Magic and call it a day. and then with the rest of your money, you with the rest of your money, you use it to buy groceries. And you have to get resourceful, start sewing, doing some odd jobs for other people, so that you can start making ends meet. Because when you add a bit, like, the thing is that, like, for black women who are dating, who are unsure right now, who are in who are living life, I was about to say in difficult financial situations, but, like, that's literally everybody right now. But you have to really weigh out the cost and the hardships and the craziness in your life. And you have to think, is dealing with this man truly worth it? And men are very smart. Don't put your birth control in a man's hands because they know how to slip the condom off, or poke a hole in the condom, or do some sneaky stuff to your birth control. No, you have to have your own back when you're dating. You have to have your own back when you're dating, not in your boyfriend's or sneaky links hands. You have to think for yourself. And really, the best way to avoid unwanted pregnancies and situations like this is to really, like, think to yourself and think how this guy is treating you and stuff like that, and really think, is it worth actually talking to this man? Is it really worth talking to this man? And what if I do get pregnant? Getting pregnant and adding a baby into your relationship, it adds more stress than a relief in some type of whimsical, magical scenario happening. So you have to really think logically and try to think for real with yourself, so that you don't get into situations like this. Because you're not entitled for help, and I'm not entitled for help or handouts. It's nice when people do that, and I'm single, but I'm just saying, like, no one's entitled. No one's entitled. And the only place that you can possibly get some handouts is if you were, like, at a food bank or at, like, a pantry church. And then, like, another thing is, like, why is she not going over there? You don't want to cook. Like, no, like, you can't have luxuries. Like, the luxuries died when you had a baby with the wrong type of man. Once you got pregnant, you're not going to have the luxuries that you want. Once you once you start having sex unprotected with Pookie and Ray Ray, you were not going to be able to afford the simple luxuries, of just buying a pizza and not having to spend no money on diapers and all of that, because, like, it's so, like, children are so expensive. So it's not like something to just willy-nilly do. Like, you should just jump and have sex and stop worrying about protection with some guy that is not that great for you. Like, then you're going to have to start penny pinching and cooking at home a lot more than what you do. You're not going to be able to get your nails the way that you want, or your hair done the way that you want. You're going to have to put that child first and buy all the kitty supplies, diapers, drinks, bottles, everything, cribs, everything that you need for that child if you get pregnant by Pookie and Ray Ray. We need to have a conversation in the black community. We need to have a conversation. And again, I just want to stress again, about how, the employee really could not give her that 60 cents. Like, it might just seem easy, like, oh, just give me some 60 cents. If it's that easy, why don't you have it? Why don't you have it? And, a lot of these bosses at these minimum wage places, they have, like, motives and agendas, and they're waiting for you to make a mistake so that you can get fired, so that they can have a reason to fire you. They are rage baiting black people, so that, they're waiting for you to act a certain way to see if you have, like, that ghetto in you. Like, a lot of, like, people think that way, and they're waiting for you to act a fool or do something against store policy so that they can have a legitimate reason to fire you. And then once you get fired from that minimum wage job, you're not going to be able to find a job at all. Because I've been looking for a job since the beginning of this year. And when I tell you, I've been spending my last on interviews and employers smiling in my face, talking to me and all of that, and like my interviews going A++. I know it's good. And then I go home, and then a week passed, and I got no phone call or message or text message from anyone saying that we moved on to orientation so that we can get the job going actually. It's a different level of stress and craziness in these past few years. Like, people are not hiring. You know, it's very easy to just tell somebody to just get a job, but people are not hiring at all. Remote, local cafes and restaurants, local coffee shops, it has been crazy. So once this lady, have sympathy and empathy for you, and try to give you 60 cents, you know, and go against store policy, and then once the boss come in and then he's counting the register, and knowing that he's a little bit short, they're going to be asking like, what happened? And then the employee is going to be like, well, there's a single mom that has some sympathy for, and you're going to get the slap on the wrist, or they're going to use that as a good reason to fire you. Life isn't hunky-dory. They're going to use it as a great reason to lay you off. Another really good reason to lay you off. And then once you lose your job, how the hell are you going to find another one? Because Indeed is an unreliable, and everywhere else is so hit or miss. And like, I'm punctual. I call. I do all of the things. You would think that like the way I've been working hard, I should get a job by now. I should get a regular minimum wage job by now. But it is not like that. And it is tough for everyone. And the only thing that I can say is that, like with everybody else, it's good to tap into your resourcefulness, single moms. Like it's good to tap into your resourcefulness and try to start a business. Try to start a YouTube channel. Try to start making professional TikToks online about something or talking about something. Everybody have to tap into their resourcefulness, or go live, and start asking for some money, and ask for galaxies like everybody else on TikTok, and tap into your resourcefulness. And take like responsibility for your own actions and make the best of your life. That's life. And if y'all was expecting something else to come out of my mouth, like, well, here I am. Here I am telling y'all how I really feel. I have sympathy, but like with the mistakes and things that you've done, you have to live with it, and you have to figure out how you can make the best of it and put one foot forward and start getting those income streams going for your child. You have a greater motivation now. Like, you could use your child as motivation to do better in life, to get started on something and start making a bag when it comes to something. And that is life. And by the way, y'all, if y'all want to make extra passive income streams, make sure that you sign up to 5 surveys and superpay.me, because those are one of my favorite survey sites as of yet. And I have made a lot of amazing pocket change. Like, I made over $400 on 5 surveys. So dreams are possible. Dreams are possible. And 5 surveys is a really good, easy payout type of survey site. So y'all join that if y'all want to make money and if you're interested in surveys. Because I know a lot of people aren't, but, it's been paying me out good. Like, wouldn't you want to have like over over $400 in your pocket right now? I know I would, and I have been with 5 surveys and making groceries and making ends meet with 5 surveys and stuff like that. So yeah, But those are my thoughts and opinions about this situation. Do y'all think that I'm too harsh? Do y'all think I hit it right on the nose? Or do you think something else? Like, do you have any other opinions about it? I would love to know, and I would love for y'all to share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you in the next video. Oh yeah, and by the way, since I am an independent recording artist, please put some of my cover songs and my other videos on your YouTube watch later list, because that helps out, and I love to sing and share, you know, that talent with y'all. So go do that. But anyways, I will see you in the next video. Bye!